Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. It is a holiday here in Canada, but and it's kind of a half holiday down in the States. Banks are closed, but some of the stock markets are open. So probably a pretty brief here. Nothing really too exciting. During these holiday environments, you often see that the market can sort of get pushed around. I do see that to a certain degree, but risk on bets are still coming in. And I'm getting the feeling that this political event, hopefully down in the States, actually becomes a non event. We'll see how it goes. But hopefully, we can just get through this November transition window and get on to the future. Um, as the breadth indicator here on the dashboard sort of suggested, we've been enjoying a bit of an uppy market of late. It feels like today, is it a function that the banks are away? I don't know, but I'm getting the impression that there's a relatively small pocket of the market, the major indexes that are catching money throwing at it, but I don't see a lot of sort of individual pushes. Um, do see a reoccurring theme, things like marijuana and I don't even know what the textbook definition, the mushrooms, that whole sort of part of the market's catching a bid, and I do see to a certain degree online technology related names they're catching a bid. And I see, obviously the four horsemen, the what is it, Mega F stocks, they're catching a bid here as well. Rest of the market, kind of wishy washy. For crypto fans, if online and the big Mega Fs are catching a bid, that probably is pretty good for crypto. And I see, it's not necessarily like, oh my God, rip roaring new bulls, market screaming to new highs. It's sort of like, W's are trying to come in. And as you follow my Twitter feed, you'll notice that we actually kind of like W's. We are avid fans of the National Association of the W Lovers Club. Thought that was adorable. I love when we see Sesame Streets. And I wonder, to a certain degree, there's a lot of symmetry with Sesame Street. In fact, my co-host here, I think he was one of the stars on Sesame Street years gone by. Inside joke. All right, so looking at the market, understanding it is a holiday session, things could be a little bit wonky here. The bond market, for example, is closed. Seeing the currency markets being pushed around here a little bit, but I wonder, through holiday session again. Remember, the banks, they're not really playing here today. So I get the feeling it's a bit of phony baloney, but we'll see how it goes. Quite often through these thin holiday markets, you can have levels be pushed to that traders wanted to get fills at. They wanted to get positions on before sort of the public can participate. Looking at your sort of breakdown here, there's sort of our risk on, risk off, big sort of risk on bet here recently. Holiday session, I don't know whether I really want to believe whether we're pushing to really new lows and new trends being established off of this action. If anything, we're coming into kilos, so watch for some FU moves here. Maybe that makes sense. Equity's getting kind of pricey again. Looks like we just banged into a little fog and bomb level there off of the bottom. Well, we've rallied appreciably here. We do have other foggy levels sitting up top, so I still think stock market can move higher. And also to a certain degree, I believe that the stock market's kind of believing that maybe this political event's not going to be so chaotic. I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell. Bonds closed. Gold, it's got the smatterings of a bottom working. I'd like to see one more, though, here against this bottom to really believe that it's for real. And interesting how our oil market really came off smartly there here today. So that's kind of smacking against this sort of risk on bet. Something's not right there in the energy market. Um, Also, too, we kind of commented about that. If you look at the broader market, what I see is the mega F stocks are just getting a ton of money thrown at them. But the rest of the market's kind of like, man, I mean, we're generally happy. You don't see too much red here. But mega F is that's dominating the market sort of behavior today. And with this kind of picture backdrop, obviously Nasdaq's looking very strong here. I'm not really ready to really call tops here. That's always dangerous in itself. But in risk, I mean, Bitcoin's leading indicator. I mean, this shit's pointing up. It's just fascinating to see the disconnect with oil. I've sort of talked about it before. Oil's a 20th century story. I'd love for us to be able to leave this world and just see oil completely disconnect with these. That would be great. But only time will tell. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, holiday session. So you're seeing sort of that mega F kind of domination in the market. Small caps, if you are a marijuana stock or a magic mushroom stock, or you're in the crypto space, or you're online education, some like one online education stock that is in cahoots with the University of Phoenix or something like that. It's going crazy today. But if it's anything other than that, you're kind of just market. Interesting to watch how Bitcoin here as sort of that risk on vote, kind of like what we showed you there a moment ago. The whole risk market feels uppy, so I don't know whether it's really a good idea for us to step in front of this right now. We had that big sort of I can't remember what the company was. They bought $50 million worth of Bitcoin up top here. The inertia is definitely to the upside right now, I think. And we even had the signaling system that we actually just give away to the public. Get all excited about long setups there on Bitcoin. I think it's about 2 or 3 days ago. This is the chart looking at from an hourly basis, but I think I tweeted these kind of images out. That this market's looking uppy. So I don't know whether it's a really good idea to step in front of this kind of thing right now. I don't see why this very simple 2-to-1 level can't be traded to. And then remember, we had sort of said holiday session, so let's not maybe get too wrapped up in any sort of short-term price action. And we got to start seeing things like bearish divergences start to develop before we start thinking tops again. I don't see anything like that at all. So path of least resistance right in the short term is up, and I think that's basically the pattern right now. This DeFi space got a little ahead of itself, I think, there a month or so ago. And it's just very typical capitalist fashion. Coming back down into areas where we should expect some fight. I wouldn't be surprised. Good old Hogue, he has a rule that says that if we accept back into value, which I think this sort of dump is the acceptance, then 80% of the time we should trade down to value low. So that's basically what this is. Is this thing actually bottomed and W'd out and trending higher here now? No, not even close. Could this play back and forth here for a while? Sure. And ultimately, for me to kind of feel like the bottom is in, I'd like to see some sort of sustained higher lows and higher highs, although they did pull in a few there. But, I want to see something where at least, we've got this kind of pattern. So right now you can see we're still working that pattern. So DeFi still, I would say, in cleanup mode, which is fine. I mean, it's pretty wide trading range. We could easily bounce around here lots. But the trend, it's kind of wishy-washy right now. Too late to sell, too early to buy. There are a lot of names that were actually like rallying early on in the year that are really starting to look attractive again. So there's names like this Algorand. where we're starting to get back down into areas where I could actually think about reloading coins that were sold last cycle. It's October though, and the rule goes buy when it snows, sell when it goes. So I would prefer just go nice and slowly here. There's no hurry, but this is the time of year when this stuff should bottom. And it might take a few months for this to develop. I don't know how long it's going to take, but there's a ball looking like this right now. So if anything, it's good, right? This was problematic. This was face rip. This was publics coming in. This stuff's getting risky. They've taken the risk out of the market now. Now we want to see things like bullish divergences, W's, all that kind of stuff. Getting ready for a pushback up top. So I see a lot of that. It's not really now these are too late to sell. Probably still a little bit too early to buy. But there's a lot of them. We were even watching Chico Crypto kind of names that he likes. So we're just waiting for these W's to start forming on the other sides of trend lines. Things are starting to look, better. And of course, my simple message to the community is, do yourself a favor and just back the truck up and just slowly accumulate all this stuff. Accumulate. Because, this shit market will only last so long. Do we have to maybe do like 2021 to can finally put in a bottom? Maybe. But I think we're awfully close to some sort of secular bottom. If you can bang out doubles and get free positions established through this bottoming process, awesome, great. Kind of like the algo what I told you there. There's a whole bunch of them that we did last year. But on balance, man, I really love the idea of accumulating this stuff down in here. Here's another one, that actually our CTO on Monday, Siord, he comes on and talks a bit with the community. He really likes the fundamental story here. So, fundamentally, the idea passes the grade. Now we can start applying things like reload zones, and oh, gee whiz, we are at or below reload zones. So you can understand that we're starting to get interested on the long side of this market. No idea what's going to happen here, but this is starting to look very attractive from at the very least, like an accumulation perspective. As we sort of said, this is probably your seasonal rally up in here, June, July, August. That's usually when crypto likes to do well. So we've obviously missed the selling window, but it's probably just a bit early for us to get like bullish. This is kind of like, okay, well, we're now getting back into relatively acceptable purchasing area. Now we want to start seeing all the anecdotal signs of this thing actually being a bottom. And that's really how I see the whole market right now. So get out there and enjoy the environment. Obviously, it's politically a bit chaotic out there. I like the idea of hunting fundamentally good names. In fact, a really good example of that in the stock market recently was we have one site member who's, I think he's become a very good analyst on his own. He fancies himself a fundamentalist. And he came and he pitched us this idea of this verb recently. I just simply identified technical levels that looked attractive to me. While he continually talked about the improving fundamental situation, and we've snuck our way in nicely off the bottom end of the range. And oh, gee whiz, here come nice W's on bullish divergences with Willie coming out of stupid condition. I mean, this is just about everything I want to see if I'm thinking about taking a risk in the marketplace. So try and identify value. Try and identify whether it be crypto or whether it be the equity markets, stock markets. Try and identify areas where insiders are long, and that the story, like whether it be LTO, good fundamental structure, good use case scenario. Take appropriate risks. and then just get out there and have some fun with the market. I think it's kind of a fun market. And I can tell you right now, I mean, I suppose I could sell right now at a 20% gain, but you tell me, has this thing got any room to move up here? Are Jamie and I going to be sipping champagne on the Italian Riviera together on our verb profits? It looks like it to me. So, PMA for the win. Get out there and have some fun. Don't take no wooden nickels. All the best. And bye for now.